Here we are, last day in Italy, final day in Rome. So, in the spirit of a Stuart Hall tradition, we're going to do acknowledgements. We're going to do acknowledgements. Okay? So, again, as we always do, acknowledging someone, anyone in this immediate community, anyone outside of this community.
I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Roos, Mr. Teixeira.
You've got to be really loudly though.
I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Roos, Mr. Teixeira for taking us on this trip and chaperoning it.
I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Buckley for actually skipping this trip and staying, well, not for skipping, but for staying home and working to help our school and make sure it stays open.
Great. Will.
I want to make two acknowledgements. One to everyone who's supporting for fighting for our school and trying to save it, and also for Devin for always putting a smile on my face.
All right. Yeah, Cameron.
I have two acknowledgements as well. I want to acknowledge Patrick, Elliot, Will, John, Jack, Nick, Tim, Ramy, basically everyone else here for making this trip awesome, along with Mr. Roos and Mr. Teixeira. And like Patrick, I want to acknowledge Mr. Buckley for actually helping save our school. And the third acknowledgement, I acknowledge the Italians for being awesome.
Italians for being awesome, right?
I'd like to acknowledge ACIs for helping us go to Sorrento and Amalfi, even though we eventually found like restaurants thanks to Mr. Teixeira's help.
Bravo.
I'd like to acknowledge Nick Lakito for being a great roommate, plus Ramy. And I'd like to acknowledge both of our teachers that helped us out getting on this trip.
I'd like to acknowledge your parents for trusting us, well, really for trusting you and allowing you to come on this trip, for feeling that it's important to invest in this type of educational experience. I'd like to thank Mr. Roos for all the organization that he did back at home, probably 6 months prior to this, if not a little bit more. I'd like to also acknowledge Albert, who was my favorite part of this in terms of from the ACIS side. I think he was brilliant, yeah?
I'd like to acknowledge all the tour guides. We weren't the easiest group to handle, but they did a good job.
I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Teixeira for doing the blog. Every night after everyone goes to bed, he's up 2 to 3 hours downloading all this onto the blog. Amazing work so that the parents can be connected to this trip.
I'd like to acknowledge Francesco for doing a lot of excellent driving.
Francesco.
I want to acknowledge my roommates and many other people for putting up with me when I do something dumb.
I want to acknowledge Mr. Roos for letting me bounce people. It was great when they want to go to sleep.
All right, bravo, bravo. So I do want to actually throw out one last acknowledgement to the universe, whatever powers that be, that actually made for a great trip, great weather. There were actually thunderstorms that were forecast for our first several days here, which I was looking at and I was thinking, oh, that's going to be really awful. So whatever powers it be that actually eliminated that kept everyone safe. Okay, so it's a big responsibility, and I'm glad that it worked out in the end. When you go back, when you have a great trip like this, it does a lot for momentum, just in general, to really create a lot of enthusiasm about taking these kind of trips. I believe that these kinds of trips are really important. I think you guys are really awesome for taking that step and having the courage to come along.
And the integrity.
So thanks a lot. All right.